He is not just a Viking warrior. Thorfinn is a symbol of humanity's journey from vengeance to redemption. From a child who lost his father, he grew into a killing machine, only to fall into the emptiness of life. Vinland's saga is not merely a story of war. It is a reflection on trauma, morality, and the meaning of life. As always, we will break down Thorfinn through 6 pillars: psychology, philosophy, sociology, morality, idealism, and inspiration. Thorfinn's psychology was shaped by trauma. As a child, he witnessed his father, Thor's, being killed before his very eyes. From that moment on, his life was driven by a single thing: revenge against Askeladd. That revenge shaped his identity. He lost his childhood and grew up with no purpose other than killing. Psychologically, Thorfinn represents post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. He is quick to anger, highly emotional, and haunted by nightmares. Yet, when Askeladd finally died, not by his hand, Thorfinn collapsed. He lost his purpose and fell into existential emptiness. This was the turning point. Thorfinn began to ask, if not for revenge, then what was he living for? Thorfinn's philosophy was deeply influenced by his father's words. A true warrior doesn't need a sword. At first, he rejected this. To him, life was a battlefield, and strength was everything. But after losing his way, Thorfinn began to understand its true meaning. His philosophy shifted from violence to peace. He began to embrace pacifism, a view closely tied to humanism. The belief that human life has value and should not be so easily taken, and that violence is never the true solution to conflict. Thorfinn's journey also reflects the social structure of medieval Europe. He grew up in a Viking world, where violence, pillaging, and slavery were the social norms. But when he became a slave, his perspective changed. He saw suffering from below, experiencing firsthand what it meant to be treated as a commodity. From a sociological perspective, Thorfinn symbolizes class conflict, from a noble son to a warrior, then falling to the lowest rung as a slave. This experience taught him that the world doesn't just need warriors, it needs people brave enough to break the cycle of violence. He realized that the systems of war and slavery were endless cycles that would keep destroying humanity, unless someone had the courage to resist them in a different way. Thorfinn's morality is one of the most complex journeys in anime. Once, he didn't hesitate to kill, driven only to prove himself to Askeladd. His life was a meaningless circle of bloodshed. But after his collapse, he chose a different path, refusing to kill at all. To many, this seemed like weakness. But to Thorfinn, it was moral strength. He chose not to be part of the cycle of hatred. His morality teaches us that true courage is not in drawing the sword, but in sheathing it. From trauma and suffering, Thorfinn's idealism was born. He began to dream of Vinland, a land far to the west, free of slavery, war, and oppression. Vinland is not just a geographical place, but a symbol of hope. Thorfinn believes that a peaceful world may seem impossible, but it is worth fighting for. Though many see him as naive, this idealism is what sets Thorfinn apart from other warriors. He is no longer just a fighter, but a visionary who seeks to build a future. So, what inspiration can we take from Thorfinn? First, that trauma is not the end of life. Even from the deepest wounds, we can find a new direction. Second, that violence is not always the answer. Sometimes the greatest bravery lies in refusing to take revenge. Third, Thorfinn teaches us that every human being has the right to dream of a better world. Even if today's world is full of hatred, Thorfinn is not a perfect hero. He is full of scars, full of regrets. But that is exactly what makes him human, and why his story resonates so deeply with us. Thorfinn Karlsefni, from an innocent child to a bloodthirsty warrior to a man seeking peace. His journey is a reflection of us all, that life is not just about survival, but about discovering meaning. If there's another character you'd like us to analyze, write it in the comments. And remember, in every story, there's always meaning worth sharing. See you in the next episode of Beyond Characters.